What's happening, people? And once again, welcome back to youtube.com/CubCamTV for this a very, very exciting interview that we have got set up. Pretty last minute, but one that I'm very excited to be bringing to the pull-up show. As we continue to explore the latest new musical flavour worldwide, we need to start speaking to some of the dons that are behind these incredible sounds and are really pushing Afrobeats forward from a sonic perspective. And today we are talking to one of those people. We've got Andre Vibez on the line. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, bro. How's it going?
It's good, man. It's really, really good. It's great to get you on the line. It's great to get into a bit of a conversation with you. Obviously, I saw that you were enjoying some of the reaction videos that we've been doing, so I thought, you know what, I have to reach out. And yeah, man, talk to me. How's things? How's life?
Well, life is good. I'm in a pretty good space, right now, creatively, and with everything that's been going on, like with the successes of like the songs that I've been making since last year, like. It's just a good place to be at right now.
It looks like it, man. It looks like it. Because for those that aren't aware, you are the sort of maestro behind some of the biggest releases this year. You might actually have the most of the kind of like top 10 ones that have landed this year. Obviously, we've seen Rush, which you're responsible for on the production side of things. Calm Down, another absolute huge tune, probably one of the biggest free releases of the year. And we'll talk about both of them. But I want to open up by talking about Wonder Mo, because this is the tune of the minute. It's so different. It's so outside the box production-wise. Talk to me about the process of putting together this tune before you're even talking about the collaboration side of things.
So when we go into the studio, it was myself and Rema, went into the studio with this mindset of we had to create something that was out of the box, something different, something energetic, something that nobody would be expecting, right? So when we started, the studio session, it was us just experimenting with like different sounds, trying out different stuff, and we'd go back and forth on the particular sound, what we're trying to like push out for people to like it just, we want to create something that just gives you that shock value, like something that it's like you were thinking something else, but then you hear this and you're like, oh wait, hold on, what's going on here, let me listen to this. And we try to, use different approach, the amapiano drums, the rock, sound, a little of EDM there, just, here and there. I was just, trying to experiment on like different sounds, different genres of music, and I think it came out nice. Like, a lot of people are liking it, so.
Definitely, man. I think the thing that people are enjoying about it the most is just how kind of different it is, but yet it still very much fits into the mold of what's going on at the moment. You're both kind of inside and outside the box at the same time. This is something I've noticed about a lot of the tracks that you've created. They have lots of elements that kind of naturally pull people in, but they're still so different and refreshing. Like, how long would you say it's taken for you to kind of, I suppose, master that style of being both in and outside the box?
So, I mean, it's taken me almost 18 years. I just say 17 plus years, to get to this point. When I started off as an R&B guy. I used to listen to a lot of R&B songs and then, hip hop songs too, back in the early 2000s. And, over time, I just realized that, okay, I the best way for me to like, for me to be able to, dominate, I need to be able to do anything, just to be able to like get the kind of records I want to get out and work with the kind of artists. I didn't want to box myself. So, I started to listen more like properly, because I used to listen to a lot of music, but I started to listen properly so different genres of music and how, they created those songs, like from the drum patterns to the bass lines to, to the rhythm, what made those songs what they were, right? And, once I, figured that out, I started to just experiment. I didn't hold myself back. I didn't feel like, oh, if I'm making an R&B song for somebody, I have to, strictly just do R&B and strictly do it like the traditional way. I mean, it's music. I'm allowed to be creative and just, add anything, just as long as it sounds good and it doesn't go off beat or off key or whatever. It's, it's good and it can inspire people to even like, just discover something new. So I kind of like just use that same approach and maintain that over the years. And then on working with like a song like Wonder More and, working with like an artist like Rema, he thinks the same way. He has that same mindset. If you listen to like a lot of his songs, you can tell that, there's so much thought put into, creating the songs that he makes. So we just been in the studio, we just knew that, okay, this is the kind of thing, this is the energy that we always have when we're together. And then, we shouldn't hold ourselves back. Let's just go for it. Yeah.
It definitely comes across in the creation, man. Obviously, you've got quite a long working relationship with Rema now. Obviously, we mentioned "Calm Down" earlier on, which has been a phenomenon this year. Obviously, it's seen a huge remix feature, obviously with Selena Gomez as well. But before that, it was breaking records left, right, and center. As an actual piece of production, though, I find "Calm Down" to be so minimal, but still so hard hitting. Like it's again so abstract at the same time. Did you have any idea? I suppose it would be as big of a hit as it has been when you kind of finished that studio session?
Yes, when we finished the studio session, I knew that it was going to be a song that people would love. I didn't imagine how big it was, because I usually don't like to put that pressure on myself. I don't like to think, oh, this is going to be so big, and but I always know that this song, people are going to love it. People are going to, it's different, and it's going to have people talking. So that was what I had at the back of my mind. But then I was surprised, like when it dropped, and the reaction, like the way it just blew up, like it was literally gaining like 1 million streams, on YouTube every day, on Spotify, same thing. Even right now, it's doing up close to like 2.5 million streams, daily streams on Spotify alone, on the original version. And it was just amazing to see. Like, it's beautiful, because sometimes I just look back, I'm like, wait, I created this monster. Like, yeah, it's like, wow, for something so simple. So yeah, it's just a pretty great feeling. And like I said, I don't like to put too much thought into what I'm creating. Like, once it feels good to me and it just feels right, I go with it.
Awesome, man. I think that's something that really does come across. I can see you've got FL open up behind you in the studio right now. And it made me wanted to ask though, what does I suppose a normal studio session look like for you? Do you take a laptop to places with you? Have you got like a set place you always tend to produce? Or what's the situation?
Yeah, I go everywhere with my laptop. Like, everything I need is in my laptop. I would not want to get into a studio and then I'm using like a computer and it doesn't have everything that I need. So it's safe for me to go with my laptop. And I'm more flexible with it because I understand it. I understand my way around my laptop. My studio sessions, I'm not really limited to where I can work. It could be in a studio, it could be in a house. This is even my room right now. Like, this is my own personal setup in my room. It could be anywhere, as long as the energy and vibe is right with the artist, we're good to go.
Awesome, man. Awesome. I mean, as I said, you've got possibly the list of the craziest collaborations going on this year. When you then factor in, obviously, Rush, for instance, with Ayra Starr, this was a tune that I absolutely loved when I first heard it. It again had this very kind of refreshing energy. I know Ayra's very, very lively in sort of studio scenarios and things like that. How was that as a tune to put together? Because I can imagine that one being a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. So that was quite, was something, because when I made that beat, and then we had boot camps, for Ayra, and would have to come into the studio and just record stuff, work with like the songwriters, because she was touring mostly on the road at that time. So I worked. I remember I made like a first version of that with some other songwriter, and it wasn't exactly what I was looking for. And I went back home, and then I worked on the beat again, because the beat was a bit different from what you're hearing now. So I had to go back. I felt like maybe the beat wasn't inspiring enough. And once I had touched the beat again, I sent it to a different songwriter who has co-writing credits on the song with Ayra. And I sent it to him, and then he sent like a recording of, the hook and what we hear right now. And, once we sent it to Ayra, it was, instant love for her. And, she just, yeah. And then when I heard her own recording, because I was in the studio when she recorded, when I heard her own recording, I just knew that, okay, yeah. And then after that, I had to add like little things, one or two other sounds. And
the additional, like the spice and the salt, just to kind of take it to the next plateau.
yeah, yeah. So
Awesome.
sometimes when I'm also creating, so when I make my beats, I don't like to add a lot of things in it. I'm more focused on how the drum sounds and just the basic melody. I feel like any, artist who knows what he's doing in the studio, once they hear a melody, they should be able to come up with something on it. So I like to hear what an artist has, recorded on the song, and then I go back and start adding things to complement, like, maybe the verse or the hook or whatever. Yeah.
It's a cool way of doing it because it means you are kind of, it's almost like live editing to an extent, because you're taking something to a different level based on the new factors that are coming in. It's really cool, man. And again, I've been so impressed kind of looking through the discography that you've put together this year. It is something that should be genuinely celebrated. It's one of the reasons I wanted to jump onto a quick call with you and kind of celebrate that here on the channel more than anything else. For yourself, are there any specific, I suppose, studio sessions this year that have kind of stood out for you as kind of like, almost like kind of moments going, you know what, yeah, this is what it's all about?
What studio session? Okay, so right now, so the last 1 month we are having like back to back, very, very intense studio sessions camp for the Mavin album. And it's crazy the things we created, like the songs that we made. Yeah, they're really crazy. They're insane. And I think that's the most that time, especially last month, it was the time where like I really like enjoyed my sessions, because most part of the year I spent it just, I, I didn't really go to studio that much. I just work from home, send beats over the record, and they send back to me. But for this Maven album, you know, we everybody was present in the studio. Every single artist in Maven was present in the studio. We had different guys. Even for the one demo, we had like a choir, you know, group come through to the studio to record like just backing vocals that you hear on the song. And it was interesting, everything, the fun, like the synergy between every artist, and just coming up with different idea. Another part where I enjoyed the most was just trying to make the whole of the track work, from everybody's verse, from Rema to Crayon to Boy Spice, Bayani, and Magix, just finding like the right pockets for them, and also making sure that the transition is smooth. Like everybody just blends, as one. It was interesting. It was challenging, but very interesting. It took me literally 2 weeks just working on that song from after we recorded till, I got it right.
Awesome. I mean, this is the thing. It's something I suppose people don't tend to think about just from a listenership perspective. Finding a way of making, I suppose, all of these different vocals work in the same environment, because obviously everyone has different pitches, everyone has different kind of cadences, and I suppose finding the way of kind of gluing everything together must be such a difficult thing to do, especially with so many artists that are all so unique in their own way. It's crazy to hear, man. I've got to say, I'm so excited to hear what's going to be going on with the Mavins album, because that's going to be, well, it's an all-stars. That's what it is, and it looks really, really exciting. I won't keep you for too much longer, because I know you're probably very busy working away on new music behind me, but I want to kind of basically rein this in by sort of seeing what your sort of plans are, I suppose, for the rest of this year moving into 2023. I'm assuming you are stacked up with work.
Yeah. So right now we're just gearing up for like the releases. And then the Wonder More shoot is this week, starting tomorrow, and tomorrow and Wednesday, 3-day shoot. So that I think that's happening this week. Then by the end of the week, there's a new song coming out by Boy Spice on Friday, produced by me too. And then the Mavin album comes out, I think first week of December. and then the Mavin concert happened. So that's basically, what's happening this year. And then I think I might be out to the UK to work, network with some artists over there later this month, and then, I think I've done all the work I have to do for this year already. So I'm just looking forward to next year and, the projects or the things I'm going to do, basically.
Definitely, man. I'd safely say you've definitely ticked as many boxes as you can for this year. Just looking through the list of records, obviously, we haven't even mentioned last year's collaborations with Ladipo as well. Like the list just seems to go on and on and on, and it's been an absolute pleasure, I suppose, sitting down, getting to talk to you a bit about your process and finding out, obviously, about what's on the way. It's been an absolute pleasure, man. Thank you for jumping on the Pull Up Show. Thank you.
Thank you, bro.
Each and every time. Keep it locked and don't go anywhere. We're locked into the sound of the Pull Up. We are going to get into the sounds of Wonder Mo next. Let's go.
Sound them sounding so good right now. But they're sounding a bright and proud.
Yes, it's Kovu. Stay locked. Top TV.
Boys, the whole fit right here, and you're locked on to the best breakfast with man like Kovu.
Yo, this is Aaron Glitch and you're tuning to the sounds of Kovu right now. You already know the thing. Bad boy selector. Alright, let's go.